Hello everyone. Today is going to be a different type of video. I'm going to be doing analysis on 3 PvP games and I'll give you my initial impressions on the latest Blazing Bash units, Hinata and Neji. I'll put timestamps in the description box, so don't worry if you want to skip ahead. So, starting with the PvP games. Right now I wanna stop before we get into the details and tell you that I'm pretty sick and tired of people claiming PvP takes no skill, PvP is only RNG. Like, that's not the case. And that's why I'm pausing the video to explain it first. The fact of the matter is, there is a lot of strategy that goes into PvP, there's a lot of planning and reactions you have to be good at to win the game. So, I just wanted to break the myth that RNG is everything. And depending on the games, you'll find that a bit more ridiculous or not. So, I've picked out these games already, I've played them, I know what happens, but I want to break it down. Looking at the two teams right now, I'm running my classic 4 units in the first lanes, but shuffled them up a bit. I'm racing in the second lane, and V1 Gara is in my first lane because most people don't race you. Like you can see in this example, he has 2 V2 Garas and neither of them is in the first slot. That's mistake number 1 from him. But whatever, let's start with my team. So the idea is V1 Gara gets away with murder. I want my Rinnegan Sasuke to enter the game as fast as possible to take advantage of the broken maps and generate me some chakra. My second lane is the standard V2 Gara and Lee. I don't think there's anything to explain there, like it's the most used lane in the game. And finally, I'm bringing back my Obito and Sage of 6 Paths. Now, the idea here was to start grinding a bit and winning games. I'm basically using a very try-hard team, like this team has so many opportunities to win, it's almost unfair. But let's switch over to his team and see what's going to happen. So, he's running Chidori Sasuke and 2 Garas as his front line. It's extremely strange the placement he's chosen, and because of his placement he doesn't have the option to pick V1 Gara. For example, he could have had V1 Gara in the first SWAT, raced in the second SWAT with V2 Gara, and in the third SWAT had the Chidori Sasuke, and the team would already feel better. Instead, he's running Chidori Sasuke and Lee in the first lane, and that's so strange to me. He wants to feed both his Garas 1 chakra, but Gara is so fragile, you don't want him to participate on the first rotation in a lot of teams. Like, in most teams, you want to swap Gara out and then abuse him on the second rotation. That's when he's most powerful. So, I already don't like his team, because he lets me be first, basically. And because I get to be first, I get to hit both his squishy Garas. And he has dodge on one of them, okay. He has skill OT on one of them, but this is a high percent play for me. Like, 85% of the time, that one Gara doesn't dodge, and my Obito gets chakra. So right now, it's his turn, and what's the best he can do? He can abuse the map and push my V2 Gara into the poison. Like, that's the only correct move he can go for. Meaning my first lane, one of my squishier lanes, gets away with murder. Basically, Sasuke takes no damage and he has to stay in with one of his Garas, or even worse, take out my Gara with his. Because skill OT can't do anything, so now it's his turn. And he has no choice. Basically, he can't risk an auto attack, and an auto attack isn't going to kill me anyway. He has to use Gara's jutsu and sacrifice him to accelerate skill OT. Well, this doesn't seem too bad at first. You're going to see that it basically provides me with free kills. And I can afford not to kill the Gara right away if I want to. Like, I can do anything I want from this position. And all of this started by him using Chidori Sasuke as the lead. So, I lose my chakra, shit looks pretty awful for me, but then again, I have my Lee available. So, why do I go for the third lane instead of the second lane? The second lane Gara is already stuck. He's sitting next to the wall. I can't generate chakra with my Lee, so I attack the one in the third slot, because I might be able to auto-attack with Obito. The entire idea right now is to auto-attack the second lane Gara down with my Obito and Sasuke, because I already can't have enough chakra for my jutsu. So, what's he going to do? Honestly, he should probably go for the Sasuke, but the thing is, he also could decide to take out my second lane. The thing is, whatever he decides to do, he has to use the CM2. So, He does a very weird choice. Instead of staying in with the Gaara, who is pretty much dead, like I'm going to kill CM2 and Gaara, pretty much, if I want to. Instead of using Gaara, who has a lot of damage and can CO, he decides to try and CO my Obito or push me into anti-chakra. Obito can never die from this, and even worse, he goes for my only lane, which 100% is a risk to go for. Like, he could have gone for Lee, he could have gone for Rinnegan Sasuke, instead he goes for neither of them. So what do I do as a response? I just stay in with Obito and kill his Gaara, who is so weakened because of my Rinnegan Sasuke's jutsu. If that Gaara was in the first lane, he would be in the back, and that third lane Gaara would be Chidori Sasuke. So Chidori Sasuke would be tagged up, but who cares, it's Chidori Sasuke, you can afford to let him die. Instead, now his skill OT is exposed. I get to collect a kill with an auto attack, which is ridiculous. You never want to be in that situation where your unit dies to an auto attack. So what can he do now? His only play is to go for the potion and go for the 35% stun. It's a low percent play, but that's what he has left. He's put himself in an awful position, and there isn't anything he can do from here. Now, I'm going for the 70% stun. The idea behind this is that skill OT can lock in my units, or even worse, go for my Obito, miss him, and then I'm stuck with a low HP unit in the game. So I definitely don't want to let the skill OT mess with my third lane. I want to have the option to pick whether to use Naruto or Obito. And right now Obito is 100% going to survive if I hit the stun. And I do. And not only do I hit the stun, I abuse his positioning and push him into the anti-chakra. Lee didn't have a jutsu this game, he is very slow. But instead of focusing on the map and struggling with the idea that, you know, I got fucked by Bandai, I just played it out normally, used Lee for 2 auto attacks so far. And both of them have helped me. So, right now what I want to do is use Obito's jutsu to punish the OT and hit the Chidori Sasuke. Instead, as you can see, I'm pretty fucked. Like, I swear I couldn't find the pixel. Like, I found it for a second, I went for it again, I got ultra fucking mad that I couldn't find the pixel. This must be fixed in my opinion. Like, it's extremely annoying and people do it on purpose. So instead, I switched out to Sage of 6 Paths Naruto. I didn't particularly want to do that, since I also have to sit in anti-chakra, but at that point I decided it's better to get the kill than not to get the kill. I wasn't going to kill him with auto attacks. Right now, our opponent is fucked. Look at his position on the map. If he collects the potion, I'm going to have so much time. I'm even approaching my jutsu with Lee, the Lee who spawned into anti-chakra. My Sage of 6 Paths is faster than his CM2 Sasuke because I fed him some pills. And if he pulls the Gaara out, I just win. So he's pretty absolutely fucked actually. Like, there's nothing more he can do. And remember that the map spawned in his favor. Like, if his team was worth anything, he could have dominated me this game, because the map fed it to him. When the best case scenario for you happens, you get such a great map spawn, and you still lose the game pretty decisively. Like, look at my units. I am not even close to being removed from the game. That was a desperation jutsu by him, and I promptly end the game. Like, you really have to look at your own team's construction and realize this is a problem. Like, his team, without changing any of the units, can be fixed by swapping around positions of the units he's using on the front line. Like, even forget who he has in the back line. I would love if he used V2 Gaara in the first SWAT and his CM2 Sasuke in the fourth. So basically, if I was running his team, I would use V2 Gaara in the first, Chidori Sasuke, not Chidori Sasuke, CM2 Sasuke, motherfucker, too many Sasukes. So, first lane, last attempt. His first lane would be V2 Gaara, CM2 Sasuke in the fourth SWAT. Second lane would be his faster V2 Gaara to still race me, and Lee behind him, and the final SWAT would be Chidori Sasuke and skill OT. While I don't like the Chidori Sasuke and skill OT lane, it makes a lot more sense than what he did in this game, and I think the gameplay showed it. So, promptly moving on to the next game. The next 2 games will be against the same opponent, and as you can tell, he is Ambu, he's been grinding too, And look at our teams. This is why I left these two games a lot. Basically, he's using my team but improved on it. He's going to go first, so he's abusing CM2 in the 4th slot, and his Sage of 6 Paths and Obito are literally the same lane I have. So, basically what's going to decide this game, just like last game, spawns, but this time it's reversed, so in spite of him going first and fucking me up pretty much, I get to do my jutsu and push him into anti-chakra. So you might think, oh, but it doesn't matter so much because V2 Gaara's jutsu isn't that important. Well, that's partially true. You don't want to lose 18k damage for no reason. This is why Bandai's maps are such a serious problem that needs fixing. Like, it's a joke at this point, it needs to change. So, right now, what am I fucking doing? Basically, I'm going for Obito and Sage of 6 Paths along with his Gaara. Why does this feel pretty shit? Because he's going to dodge. Like, 50% of the time it feels like he's going to dodge. But even if he dodges, I'm getting half the play I want. I want to tag the Gaara up, and because he'll take the most damage out of this jutsu. I don't want to mess with his first lane because his first lane is pretty much done. Like, they've done their job this game, it's over for them. And right now I win the coin toss. Winning the coin toss right now means that because we have the same team, the game is pretty much over. I'm going to use the Lee Jutsu and finish him, pretty much. And because I finish him in the anti-chakra, his Lee loses the jutsu and the game is over at that point. Now, you might ask, why do you use the jutsu when you can kill him with an auto attack? I want the speed buff, I want the chakra again. I have made this mistake many times, not using Lee's jutsu, and I'm no longer doing that mistake. It doesn't matter if your opponent can get killed by an auto attack. If you haven't used the jutsu yet, always use the jutsu. You want the speed, you want the chakra generation, even if it doesn't seem like you need it right away. Right now, he sees that my Obito is faster than his Obito, and this is going to give me a major advantage in the next game too. But right now, because we have the same team and he lost his chakra, he just rage quits because he realizes it's over. This is how important map spawns are, and this is why Bandai need to get to work. Like you saw, two games in a row, the map spawns pretty much should have decided the winner. The only reason I won the first game was because his team composition wasn't ideal. So, immediately after this game, I shit you not, the game was like, time to give this guy a second chance. And honestly, I was thinking in the voting screen that now the spawns would be reversed and I would get fucked. Instead, if I remember correctly, let it vote, yeah. Instead, it's a fair map, and because it's a fair map, he has a major advantage on me. Right now, he's going to go first, which fucks me up majorly. Now, who do you think he should go for? Because he could hit my two Gaaras, who are more vulnerable. But instead, I think he goes for Obito, because he wants to seal me in. Yeah, so, he's basically making a greedy decision, the same greedy decision I would have made in his place. The idea is that even if Obito dodges, Obito might still get sealed, and Obito is one of my win conditions. Which I've said many times is not a good thing to do. It's never a good idea to have one of your win conditions exposed, but this greedy playstyle pays off a lot more often than it should, basically. So right now I don't dodge on either of the units, I could only dodge with Obito, and I don't get chakra sealed with Obito, but I get hit, and Obito dies very fast. Like, Obito dies extremely easily. So, what am I going to do in response? We have the same team. If I go for his V2 Gaara up there in the right corner, I'm going to lose the game. I'm under no illusion that I can lose the coin toss. So, what am I going to do instead? I'm going to do the same thing he did. I'm going to sabotage his win condition. I want to go for his Obito and one-shot him. Now, this play is extremely risky because his Obito has 35% dodge. If I want to hit him with both jutsus, it's going to be extremely unlikely for me. And what's worse is that I have my first jutsu is the Rinnegan Sasuke. If I had Lee right now, even if I miss, at least I could use Rinnegan on someone else. But because I have Rinnegan first, I have to use it on Obito and I don't generate any chakra. So this play feels extremely weak, but I think it's necessary. So, Now it's his turn, because he wins the coin toss this time. And what should he do? Honestly, at this point he can do whatever the fuck. If I was him, I would go for Rinnegan Sasuke, because you've already tagged that lane up a bit, you want to feed your Obito a little more chakra, it's the best play, I think, to go for my Sasuke. I think this is where he makes a mistake though. He either stayed in with Gaara, which doesn't give his Obito any chakra, yep. So why is this a mistake? I already said I wanted him to kill my Rinnegan Sasuke, like that's the idea, that's the best play he has, but he gets greedy, because he doesn't want to pull his Lee, because he's not sure if I'm going to kill his Obito. He's trying to save his chakra only, and his chakra generation more importantly. So because he does this greedy play and doesn't hit my Sasuke with Lee's jutsu, right now, if I miss his Obito, which I'm going to do, I'm going to miss, and it's going to be the worst possible scenario for me. Here it goes. Right now, he could have had Obito's jutsu ready on his turn, but because he played it so greedily, because he held back on Lee, he doesn't have a jutsu. Now, neither do I, obviously, because I got hit by CM2 and didn't generate any chakra. But I stay in and look at his Obito's health. He is so unbelievably low, now that he has taken 3 of my turns basically, absorbed them as damage, that he's going to swap out. And I think that's the best decision he has right now. The game is completely under his control, as long as he makes no more mistakes. He should have used Lee, it was extremely greedy of him not to. Because he knew Gaara could survive, that was part of his trick. So right now he's going to pull Lee. But because he thought he was doing the safe play, it was actually the greedy play to do what he did. And right now he pulls Lee. He once again displays greed. Instead of killing my Rinnegan Sasuke, look at him, he goes for Obito, the only lane who might dodge. And right now the mistakes will start piling on. Now, I'm going to just add in a caveat that because he lost to me already on a bullshit map, it's pretty likely he is tilted by Bandai's shitty map design. But that's no excuse for making a wrong play when the next game starts. Like, the old game is behind you, it doesn't matter what happened in the last game, you're playing the next game. So, what do I do now? I can't pull my V1 Gaara out, because he's basically going to die. And instead I'm going to sacrifice my Rinnegan Sasuke. The reason I couldn't pull V1 Gaara is because he sealed me with CM2. Isn't that fun? So I decided to sacrifice my Rinnegan Sasuke, the Rinnegan Sasuke who would already be dead if he hit him. Now, it's my next turn, and I can pull out V2 Gaara, because I have a jutsu ready. Who do I go for now? You might think, well, it's time to hit his Sage of 6 Paths Naruto, you don't want Obito to swap out and hit all of you with the jutsu. Actually, absolutely not. I want the Obito to stay in the back, because in the back he has 15% dodge, but in the front he has 35. I'm not going to kill the Sage of 6 Paths Naruto anytime soon, so if he swaps the Obito in, he's doing me a favor. Instead, I'm going to seal in the CM2, because I don't want a fast OG Gaara running around and collecting buffs. Fortunately for me, there are not that many buffs on the map, there are only 2 potions. And basically he doesn't get to abuse speed buffs and attack buffs right now. So he goes for the only play he has, he goes to kill my Rinnegan Sasuke. But instead of killing my Rinnegan Sasuke, this could have been a kill on my Gaara. And this is going to bite him on the ass. Right now, Obito gets to run away for me. And I basically forget that the CM2 is sealed. For a second. The idea is that I want to get a kill, and this is the only kill I can get for sure. Like, my plan right now is to kill this CM2 in spite of sealing him like an idiot. Basically, I should have considered the fact that my seal was never going to help me. It was a good idea to seal him, but I also needed kills, and the easiest kill out of his entire team is OG Gaara. So basically I changed my mind on the fly. I decided that the CM2 must die, and he has a jutsu now, so you don't want to leave him alive. The entire plan right now is to get to my Obito's turn and hit the OG Gaara with the jutsu, because I have 2 jutsus left, Obito and V1 Gaara, and I need to get 2 kills with them, which is very unlikely. So, right now what does he do? He goes for my V1 Gara because it's the only free kill, but please remember, this Gara should have been dead maybe 2-3 turns ago. The fact he has to waste a jutsu on Sage of Six Paths Naruto basically seals his fate. Could he have hit me with Obito's jutsu? No. He could have decided to hit either V1 Gara or V2 Gara. He could have killed either of them with Obito, but he exposes Obito to a kill. And now that OG Gara is also exposed, I could have fucked him up. So now he does the safe play and keeps Obito in the back. Now, what can I do with this Gara? Pretty much not a lot. My only best option is to get the potion and stay next to Naruto to reduce the damage. The problem is, at the moment I didn't think of his Lee hitting my Gara. So I make a mistake and I stay in with Gara. I should have pulled my Lee and taken the potion. Instead I'm going to take the potion with Gara. And I give him another opportunity to end the game. If he hits me with Lee and Toji Gara, I pretty much lose. I'm pretty sure I would have lost. Instead, what does he do with his OG Gara? I'm honestly asking because I don't remember. Okay, so he's going for the 35% stun. Now, this play is pretty optimistic because it assumes he's going to hit. Now, is he going to hit? No. Why is this a mistake on two parts? First, he's going for a 35% jutsu. That's optimistic as fuck. Second, look at my Gara's positioning. I basically moved Gara in specifically to protect Naruto. And once again, my Gara shouldn't have been there. Like, I should have pulled Lee and his plan would have worked basically. But it's almost like he doesn't know what damage his units do. And now it's too late. Now if he hits Gara with the jutsu, it's going to be a mistake. And if he hits Naruto with the jutsu, Naruto is going to survive. So instead, he wants to abuse V2 Gara's speed, and I think that's the best play he has, after making the mistake. Now, I have two moves to win the game, which sounds pretty shit because this. If I pull my Obito, I'm pretty sure I'm going to die. I need to lose only one more life, and I've given him opportunity after opportunity to kill me. My V2 Gara gets one shot by his Obito as well. I'm pretty fucked at this point. So, what's the only actual play I can do? I can pull my Obito and hit his OG Gara. I can't even get a potion. So, I pull my Obito and I go for the Gara because that's my only free kill. I could have tried to go for the V2 Gara, but Lee is still alive behind him. So, I'm not taking out his lane. Now, Obito's jutsu doesn't kill the Gara, which is a bit of a problem for me on one hand, but also not that big of a deal because Lee was always going to come out. This Gara dies to Obito's jutsu, I'm pretty sure. And even if I'm next to my Obito, it's not going to be that much of an improvement. So I take out the OG Gara with my Lee's auto attack, absolutely reasonable play. And now, it's the time of reckoning once again. What can he do to win the game right now? Pull the Lee, hit my Lee with him, do about maybe 14k damage. I think 14k is reasonable. But he also has Naruto next to Lee, so it will be, let's say it will be around 16-17k. After that, he pulls his Obito. 2 units are next to my Lee, and he takes me out 100%. Lee can dodge, Lee can do anything. The game is over, he wins. Instead, he is looking at my Obito, and he decides this Obito won't dodge with 35%. Look at the fucking mistake. These are the types of people complaining that the game is only RNG, because right now, he doesn't hit. Now, before you go into a forum and type in "but dodge", once again reiterating, look at my Lee. 26k HP sitting next to a unit who is going to do 2-3k damage auto attack. My Lee could have died extremely easily to two of his jutsus. Obito, Lee's jutsu first, using Naruto as an auto attack, and then pulling Obito and using his jutsu only. Absolute 100% kill. But right now he's fucked himself. His only option left to win is to use Obito's jutsu to kill my Obito. And can you guess what's going to happen? Absolutely nothing. 35% strikes 3 times for me in this game, and I win. I win this game not because of dodge, but because he made 3 to 4 mistakes during the game. He could have won this game easily. He could have won this game 3-1, he could have possibly won this game 3-0. Instead, he gives me every opportunity to beat him, and now it's too late for him to dodge. He is going to die, and he rage quits. Even before I get to do the final auto attack. Honestly, what more do you want me to say? Like, I think this last game is the best example of someone who has every opportunity to win. And when they lose, they remember only the dodges. They don't remember their mistakes leading up to those dodges. They don't remember the plays that go wrong. And that's the plays they do wrong. The plays that go wrong are the plays that never should have been on the table. So you might say, oh, you got insanely lucky. Of course I got insanely lucky. I'm not arguing 35% should hit 2 times in a row. But I'm saying is, he could have won that game. And I never would have gotten those dodges, because my Obito was never going to be the recipient of his jutsus, if he played correctly. So before you cry about dodge or any other RNG mechanic, watch your games, learn from your mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. Anyone who's watched my videos will realize I make a lot of mistakes also. But blaming the game when you lose the game yourself is not the way to go. PvP has many issues. PvP is a bundle of issues. But place the blame on yourself some of the time, and if you can, I suggest watching your games. You're going to improve at such a faster rate and not be stuck in Special John in 10 Dan hoping for the best. Hoping to stomp easier opponents who don't even use the correct units. I hope you enjoyed this part of the video, and now I'm going to go into, you know, the Blazing Bash reaction, and I'll be honest with you, I'm very disappointed it was Neji and Hinata. I have nothing against Neji, he was an asshole in part 1 and I liked him. He was supposed to be the antagonist, nothing wrong there. But Hinata was a punching bag, she got knocked the fuck out in about 1 round in MMA terms, like, it wasn't even close. This Hinata doesn't deserve the power creep she's going to get. I have nothing against Hinata and Shippuden and going forward, but really, did we really need a Blazing Bash Hinata from part 1? And she even has something resembling Lion Fists, like, no comment. About the units themselves. Neji is body, and when I saw he was body, I was like secretly hoping he would be trash, so I wouldn't have to pull on this banner, but I was absolutely wrong. Neji is phenomenal, like, I think he is the second best body unit in the game. For PvP, he's pretty useful. The fact he's 3-6 chakra is absolutely devastating. His duplicates push him so much over the top, it's unbelievable. If you have stones lying around, they're no longer going to be lying around. About Hinata. So, leading up to this banner, I was expecting only 1 unit, and it was going to be Wisdom. Instead we got 2 units, and the Wisdom unit isn't really what we needed. Hinata is a frontline unit with a lot of HP, and also pretty decent damage actually. I think she does 14, 15, 16k damage, it doesn't matter though, because after running some math, she doesn't one-shot Vitugara. And do you know what's even worse? Vitugara is faster than her. So she is a slower unit that takes bonus damage from Vitugara, you know, the guy who is going to swap out and kill her on the second rotation when she stays in. And it's actually curious to me if she will stop the meta, quote unquote, because Vitugara is being abused in the second lane. If someone against you is running Vitugara in the second lane and you have Hinata in your first, the Gara is going to take a lot of damage. and if you have attack buffs behind the Hinata, or you sync up with long range units, you are going to kill the Gaara. So basically I think this unit is Bandai saying, can you please not put V2 Gaara in your second lane, because we are pretty sick of seeing this abused. Is Hinata a great unit, just like Neji? Well, it's hard to make a bad Blazing Bash unit. I used to say this about Blazing Fest units. Blazing Fest units were always supposed to be the elite. You can't make a Blazing Fest unit and call it bad. Like, even the Knight guy who doesn't do anything can't really be called bad. Because in versus body missions and versus heart obviously, he's going to wreck face. But for Blazing Bash especially, the banner is just starting. They could make the shittest unit possible and still feed him one or two things that make him incredible in PvP. You can't really make a bad unit in the Blazing Bash banner right now. So, challenge accepted by Bandai, I guess. I'm pretty disappointed we have 2 units instead of 1, but the banner is still the best thing to go for. Anyone who tells you not to pull it is lying to you and wants to abuse you in PvP. Neji will become a staple. There are too many Lees running around anyway. Is Hinata going to become a staple? I think only at first, to deal with V2 Gaara in the second lane. As soon as V2 Gaara switches back to the first lane, Hinata will be out of work. Now, I still think she has her uses and she'll be pretty... I expect her to be pretty much in every team at first, so it's not like I can say she won't be used. But she doesn't really accomplish what we needed. Like, if she was a stronger assassin maybe, I don't think she should have been a frontline unit to begin with. But I'll go into more details as I usually do in my unit analysis video, not video, sorry, in my unit analysis post when I write it up. I was thinking about doing a video, but as you can tell I like to ramble too much, my thoughts aren't as clear. I can't correct mistakes on the fly. So instead I'll write it down. I've already begun updating my lists with those 2. I haven't placed them yet. I think Neji will be the second best body unit, and I'm not sure where Hinata will end up. I'm really not sure about her, and I'm pretty confident Neji will be the second one. He's very good. CM2 is still absolutely unbelievable, thanks to Bandai's shit maps. So Neji can't really be first, but being second I think is pretty reasonable. And it's like a sign of things to come. Body now, on my list at least, has number 1 and number 2 from the Blazing Bash banner. I remember a time where number 1 units were only coming from Blazing Fest, but that time is over. In any case, thank you for watching. If you like this video, let me know. Leave a like, subscribe, all that good shit, and catch you on the next one.